BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion with the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to NHL and UFC. BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source for every three-pointer to hat trick. BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here. Bet.
Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Buggy like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. You're
listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right. Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma, Big Q and the guys, where we have an interesting, entertaining talk on all things Saints matter. So shout out to the fan. Appreciate y'all for being in the live on this one, man. Listen, the Saints making some moves, man. Listen, all I can say is we got some stuff we working on right here. Obviously, Kellen Moore is looking for more help at the QB position. So shout out to you guys. Appreciate you for being in the stream, man. We live on this Monday edition. I hope everybody's good, man. Much love to the entire mighty Who Dat Nation, man. The great Saint think tank in full effect. Big ups to all of you guys, man. Much love to you. I see all of the kings and the queens of the Coma. Shout out to all you, Chantel, Dana, Desi. Big ups to all of y'all. Linda, good to see you in there as well. All the queens in this thing. Shout out to my girl, Deborah. Big ups to her. Much love to all of y'all, man. I see all y'all, man. Much love. Appreciate y'all. All right. What's up, Sonia? Big ups to you as well. Big ups to my brothers out there as well. What's up, Yin? Shout out to you as well. OG Jerry. Big ups to you, brother Justin. What's up, my brother? How you doing, sir? He says, Q, do you think that the trade rumor true about Derek Carr? I do not think that's true, bro. I do not, and I'm going to tell you why I don't think it's true, my brother. I don't think it's true because of one particular person. His name is Slick Mickey Loomis, and I don't think, and that's why Derek Carr is still here, is because of Mickey Loomis. I don't think Mickey Loomis has any indication to try to trade Derek Carr. Mickey Loomis' philosophy is to keep this team together until the contracts expire. He had absolutely no intention of trading Derek Carr. Derek Carr wanted out. According to all of the insider reports, family, we talked about this. The man wanted out. He hadn't done an interview, hadn't talked to the Who Dat Nation since what? Last time we did football on the field. He's been noticeably absent. He's supposed to be the leader of the team, but he's not been heard from it. Listen, I know y'all don't care too much to hear from him anyway, but still no, if you're a leader, you're supposed to make your presence felt. We haven't heard from him. Man didn't, and many reports have said Derek Carr did not want to be here. And Mickey Loomis was the sole reason why Derek Carr is still here. We could have got from under Derek Carr's contract. We could have traded Derek Carr. There were teams interested in, but Mickey Loomis kept him here. So with people Please don't get mad at Derek Carr until football on the field is played. Then he starts messing up or screwing up. Then, of course, you'd be mad at him. You have reason to, but please don't be upset with Derek Carr. He was trying to get out of here. His head coach was canned and fired. And usually when you're Dennis Allen brung that man here, and when it was time for him and they fired Dennis Allen and got him out of here, his quarterback should have been the next thing smoking. You don't saddle the new man with the old quarterback, man. That was just bad juju. And that's why I think it's a bunch of malarkey, bro. But thank you, Justice. Shout out to you, my brother. All right, Big Valley. Shout out to you, my brother. Good to see you in the building as well. Much love to all y'all. I see all y'all out there. Much love. Uncle Deuce, big ups to you. Brother Byron is in this thing. Brother Kai is in this thing. Good to see the day ones in full effect. Pelicans Nola, much love to you, fam, as well. Good to see you, man. Brother Charles, what's up, fam? Appreciate you, man, as well. And much love to all of the ladies. Like I said, man, the ladies in full effect. Always good to see my family out there kicking into the coma. All right, what's up, Tom? He says he's boycotting us. I don't know, brother. I mean, that might be. I don't know if he won't do that yet, But anyway, big ups to y'all, man. Good to see you, man. Picking ponies. What's up, fam? Who that to you? Appreciate you, man, on the comment on the who that. Dana said they act like Abdul Carter. He says they like Abdul. I'm sorry. They like Abdul Carter a lot, and mock drafts have them taking him. It's possible they could take Sanders. You talking about the Saints, Dana? Or are you talking about another team? All right. What's up, brother Gundam? Shout out to you, man. All right. Chantel says, yeah, they heard about it, but the owner says that she's talking about the Browns. Okay. I was about to say, okay. Thank you, Dana. Yeah, I figured it out, baby. Your boy be a little slow at times. Linda said, yeah, Mickey, bless his heart. Indeed. Yeah. We got to pray for Mickey Loomis, man. Yeah, pray for him to get the game, to kind of get some of his wits back, man, because it's pure delusion while we're pursuing this course. But anyway, before we even jump into some of that, let's do a brief cap update, if you don't mind, fam. Let's take a look at that cap and see what it's going like in 2025. As you guys know, we just over $28 million in cap relief for the black and gold after all of the contract restructures the Saints did. That's this year as they're facing the draft in a little bit under a month now worth of time before we get to the NFL draft later on in April. You look at 2026 numbers, look where you're at. You're almost $26 million in the red already. You're 28.3 this year, and 2026, you're starting to go up there. You were 16 or whatever it was in the black. Now your 2026 number is 26 million, 25.8 to be precise. And of course, 2027 is what Mickey Loomis was. And I've been saying this to y'all for some time now, for a couple of years, but because it's not easy to figure out what the philosophy of the Saints is. Mickey's going to kick the can. That's all he's a one-trick pony. He's a one-trick pony. He's going to kick the can. And he has no idea. He told the family members some time ago, we're going to work it back to the black. Yeah, online now. We're going to do that. We're going to work it back to the boss. Like, man, I don't believe nothing you say. He don't know how to do that. That's not his philosophy. Has been to kick that can. And that's what he does. So will it work this year? It all depends, family, on how the Saints are able to pull in all of this talent and make them this amalgamated group, bring them together and just make them one solidified movement under the banner of accountability and creating an identity of what this team is going to be. What kind of team is this going to be? Are we going to be a ground and pound defensive smash what type of team? Like we've seen with some from the Philadelphia perspective, or what are we going to do? Throw it down, you see what I'm saying? Or are we going to just be one of these fly down the field type throwing teams? What are we going to do here? What's the identity? And that's what I've been kind of saying. A lot of it's not so much just the injuries, it's the identity aspect that the Saints have lacking. They just don't have that identity. We've been lacking it for the last several years, and hopefully Kellen Moore can change that, man, and give this team an identity to win behind. All right. Anyway, let's move on to some of these articles, man. Let me get y'all in here. Shout out to the fam. Also, to let you guys know, there is a poll in the chat that there is up. I want to get you guys' perspective on who you think the Saints should take, or what position, rather, you think the Saints should take at the 9th pick. What do you guys think it should be? 4 options there. You guys let me know what's important to you. What do you guys feel the Saints need to do to improve the team from those 4 position groups that's listed. Maybe 5. I think it's 5 because I got cornerback and safety together. So y'all let me know out of those options that's available. All right, this is some of the latest stuff, and we'll go over a tracker because there's a lot to keep up a date about with the Saints going and looking around with a like I say, a little less than a month. I guess you can say a little less than 3 weeks or so, or a little bit more, but 3.5 weeks before the draft is here. So a lot of due diligence. Obviously, the Saints in a slow down now, where it's not so much now as we're just focused entirely on the draft and getting that together. Now, the Saints did make some moves defensively and offensively to improve the team. Defensively, the schematic change with them shifting guys around, getting Gocho at the nose tackle position, shifting Granderson and Young to linebackers, along with Isaiah Foskey, the slow man. Then you have the addition of Reed at the safety position, just an absolute physical force there. Next to Tyron, they bring back Isaac Yiadom. They re-sign Ugo Amadi at the nickel position. They did some very positive things there. Brought in Williams, the defensive lineman that used to play for the Rams, there to come in and kind of help out there as well. So there's a bunch of stuff happening defensively. Offensively, they added some depth there with Velus Jones. They got them lined up at the running back position. Good help in the wide receiver room. They picked up Jaxson, the tight end. They brought in the offensive lineman that they picked up from the Titans on a 1-year deal, Dylan Radunz. So they've made a few moves. A lot of people kind of gave the Saints moves like a B, So what we need to have to kind of get over the hump to put the Saints into respectable land insofar as, because we're not just competing with ourselves, we're competing with other teams that'll be making or having strong drafts. And as you survey the landscape and you look at some of these other teams and what they did the last couple of years and building their team, sooner or later, Atlanta's going to get it right, fam. Sooner or later, they're going to get it right. They've been fumbling, stumbling, and bumbling as well. And so is Carolina. But Carolina struggled and was a bad team, but they hit rock bottom. They hit their rock bottom and they're bouncing and they're on the way coming on up. So we still, where are we? We still holding on to whatever this is. But at the end of the day, we are competing with these other people and we have to be able to stay on code. We got to get these players in here to help us. And we got a ton of draft capital and $28+ million. What does that mean? You don't clear $28 million just to sit on it. Perhaps there's something happening, but then again, you never know when Mickey Loomis is involved. But anyway, this is what the Saints did. They are, and this is shout out to, I think this is Ross's tweet. Shout out to Ross. It says one NFL insider believes that Kellen Moore in-person visit to Jaxson Dart's pro day isn't what he calls isn't significant. If they want him, here are 2 ways they can land him. He had a really good article. Shout out to Ross. Had a really good article breaking down the moves. Now listen, the more and more as we get closer to the draft, a lot of people believe that Jaxson Dart is he's gonna be taken somewhere in the first round, where maybe at the bottom of the first round. But that's not really a surprise. Every year we see but we see different teams reach at quarterbacks, right? This is a reachy kind of draft because you have top two guys, and then there's a third guy who is Jaxson Dart, and then there's a mix of guys in the third tier. I don't think something's nobody up there with Jaxson. People talk about Show from Louisville, who I like Show, but he don't have an extensive amount of tape. That's 1 year worth from Louisville Show. He looks good, but it's just 1 year of production from him at that position. There are other guys like McCord. I talked about McCord from Syracuse. I think they got him rated in maybe the third to fourth tier. A developmental guy like Will Howard, that was Ohio State's quarterback, that has some good tape on him. The guy from Texas, Quinn Ewers, who kept Arch Manning on the bench, has a lot of talent. 6'2", got a good arm. Not a super strong arm, but he's gritty, has guts, plays the position. He's a football player at the quarterback position. Was very productive. So, there are different places you go, but all those guys considered franchise. When you're the Saints at number 9 and you're thinking about quarterback, which the Saints are, in many people's opinions, thinking about quarterback or an heir apparent to who they perceive with Derek Carr, basically being a bridge quarterback to whoever the young guy is going to be. And listen, this could happen pretty fast because Derek Carr has been hurt the first 2 years he's been down here. He has not been the model of consistency, has not been the model of availability. So, I mean, at some point, you could probably see a franchise quarter or a high pick quarterback take a shot and get into that. Of course, people like Spencer Rattler, and I get you on that. I like Spencer too. But like I said, Spencer's not Kellen's guy. That was Clint Kubiak's guy, just like Jake Zoolander or Jake Hayner is Pete Carmichael's guy. Every year is the same little two-step, isn't it, fam? New coordinator, new quarterback. Just don't expect it to change this year. So I believe that Jaxson Dart will be available at 9. And if the Saints miss out on Sanders, well, a lot of people believe that. We heard what D. Haslam, I think it was what Haslam said, the owner of the Cleveland Browns. And Shante, you follow your club. But we heard what he said about Deshaun Watson, and I was looking around to myself, and I said, hold on, did I miss something? Did Deshaun Watson get traded today? And I looked to see, and nobody's still on the team. He wasn't traded. How the hell you say that about your franchise quarterback? And listen, you look up the stats. He ain't lying. The dude barely gets over 1,000 yards passing every year. He's been hurt, but they still giving him all that good guaranteed money, baby. Boy, I thank the Lord the Saints dodged that bullet. As a matter of fact, let's get a good clap on that, man. Y'all clap it up for that.
He ain't lying. Talk, boy.
Because at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you, man, straight up is that, man, we dodged a bullet with that one, baby. We dodged a bullet with that one. Oh, boy, 3 years ago, Dennis Allen was trying to land Deshaun Watson. Boy, we dodged a bullet on that one, baby. And now he talking like that. The man's still on the damn team. So, Cleveland's, obviously, this late in free agency, they're going to be looking to take a quarterback up there. So that lessens the chances of him falling to us, Shador, unless the Saints go up there and get his ass. So hold on, let me pull up the all I can say, man, it's just how you talking like that about that man. That man's still on your team. I know you don't like him, but how you talking reckless about it? You're not supposed to do that yet. Oh, you people crazy, man. You think he gonna run that man off by saying some bad words, man? That man sitting up there smiling like a Cheshire cat. He ain't worrying about nothing. He just collecting all his money. Yeah, he said they sitting up there. The Titans are 1, the Browns are 2. You could very well see quarterback 1 and 2. Titans are definitely looking at a quarterback, and the Browns are. They only have Deshaun Watson and Pickett on the team. So, I mean, you need a franchise quarterback, and Deion Sanders already gave his blessing, didn't he? He said he's cool with name teams. The Saints were amongst them. I think Cleveland was amongst them too. So Tennessee and Cleveland. Oh my goodness. That could be where they ended up. That's probably why the Giants went and they picked up both Jameis and Russell Wilson. That's probably why they did it, because they said, man, we know Titans going to get a quarterback and Cleveland going to get a damn quarterback. So we might as well go ahead on and get Jameis and Russell Wilson. And they did too. So, and the Saints sitting at 9. Is there another team looking for a quarterback there? Because very well, if that is indeed the case, the Raiders aren't anymore. Jacksonville isn't. The Patriots aren't. The Jets. Aha. What's that? How Eddie Murphy did that in the commentary? Aha. Aha. The Jets. Could the Jets be looking for a quarterback? Could that be Jaxson Dart territory? Regardless or not, man. We'll see how it all ends, but I know at some point that man's definitely looking for a quarterback to kind of fill his system, man. And he could, but if the Saints want him, they might need to move up to go and get him. If not, he possibly could be there. Depends on what the Jets do. I know they seem to be the only other quarterback starved team. And I thought that's your boy. Who did I might have to see what Coach Glenn ended up picking up there. I don't think he went and got anybody. Oh, no, Justin Fields. He got Justin Fields. So I think he might be all right. They got Jordan Travis there and Tyrod Taylor. I think the Jets might be all right. So, I mean, actually, that's actually not a bad move by Coach Fields. Coach Glenn getting Justin Fields, the quarterback there. That's pretty respectable. The Jets might have something here, man. They might. Aaron Glenn might have something there with Justin Fields, man. Just he's still 26 years old, still has a lot to prove. He did a decent job when he got an opportunity to play. Now he the man in New York, man. So we'll see how it goes. So it might be so. We'll see where they are. This is the fun part about it, though, fam. And then outside of the Jets question mark, if they sit on, just look at getting him some help throwing, wide receivers or whatever, offensive linemen, whatever the case may be, they might be all right. And then Carolina and then the Saints. So Jaxson Dart might be there based on that. So we just have to see. Saints linked to the ascending QB prospect with the NFL draft just around the corner. We talked about some of that and who owns the pick, but the Saints. Top consensus prospects are Shador, Cam. However, they could be in prime position to pick my Ole Miss quarterback Jaxson Dart, whose stock has skyrocketed since the 2025 Combine. Phils Yates says, my mindset remains that 2 of the first 3 picks are likely to be quarterbacks, with the Titans on war, Giants still needing a young signal caller, most likely Sanders. Dart could still go right away with a team like the Steelers at 21 or the Saints at 9 or the Rams at 26. We could see a team such as the Browns trade up in the early second round into to snag at them and get that 5th-year option that comes along with the first round contracts. That's what they were saying about him sneaking into the back of the first round, which was the initial rumorville talk prior to it. But all that kind of changes. But like I said, man, there are Jaxson Dart is a guy that a lot of people are looking at and saying this guy has some potential here because he's a dual quarterback. He can throw and run, decisive, has a strong arm, bit of a gunslinger, has some accuracy to go along with it. Is a proven leader, plays with a chip on his shoulder. Very enjoyable game. When Jaxson Dart is out there, I ain't gonna call him he ain't no Taysom Hill, but he does have athletic ability. He does move very well. Is shifty as a quarterback. And like I said, he ran Lane Kiffin's wide open offense at Ole Miss. But the thing that I like about him the most is his decision making. You need a true leader at that position and a guy that goes through his progressions. And he is a fundamental guy. He does get in trouble at times when he tries to fit that ball inside of a tight window. That'll get you in trouble in the NFL. So it's up to our QB coach and offensive coordinator to kind of work that out on there. But I do like the leadership ability. I do like that a lot. Because you're going to need a guy that can play that. And like I said, we know about the dual weapon QBs in the NFL, how guys, they win at that level when they have the ability to scramble as well as throw. And listen, if you watch the tape on Jaxson Dart does do a really good job. When he scrambles, he does keep his eyes downfield and he can make the throw as he's running. We've seen some quarterbacks try to run with it. We've seen Jake Haynes. I ain't gonna say it. We've seen somebody on the Saints team try to scramble and end up throwing a dirt ball a couple of times. But Jaxson Dart doesn't do that, man. Jaxson Dart scrambles and looks to make plays up the field. And that's what kind of quarterback a lot of people are having success with in the NFL. So if he's there, like I said, with all of this stuff going on, all of the acquisitions we talked about with the Saints early on, is the fact that the draft board is wide open. It is what you would call it, a draft of your favorite prospect. I mean, I ain't gonna say they appeased everything, but they've brung in Brandon Cooks, whether you agree upon it or not. Brandon Cooks is getting $13 million for 2 years. Obviously, they want Chris Olave to play 1. They got Brandon Cooks here at the 2 and Rashid Shaheed at the 3. I don't know, you agree upon it or not. That's what they're doing. You look at the tight end room, is loaded. Taysom Hill will be coming back off his injury. They gave Juwan Johnson the 3-year contract, which means he's the future at the tight end position. They still have Foster Monroe as the backup for 1 more year, and Jack Stoll, who will come on as the 4th tight end, and they might use him in some blocking duties, all this kind of stuff. And then, you look at the offensive line, which is where they could use some help. I'm kind of shaky on a lot with Dylan Runnets coming here. He's an upgrade. I said this over the last guy we have. Still on a 1-year prove-it deal, which was very interesting for the Saints. Say, let's see what we got. And he took it with an opportunity to prove himself. We'll see where that goes. Now, outside of that, offensively speaking, the room is wide open. You could talk about the running backs. You could talk about Alvin Kamara turning 30 this year. You could talk about Kendre Miller. Can he stay healthy? Availability is the big issue for Kendre. You do have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the Saints brought back on a 1-year deal. He helps there, but he's more of a compliment kind of back there to kind of help out right there. But if you want somebody with Alvin Kamara, Kendre Miller has to step up. There's Jordan Mims, and there's I forgot the other brother name. I don't want to not forget the man name. Hold on, fam. Let me look the man name up right quick. You know, he's a practice squad player, but he's in the mix. I try to remember to kind of call all these guys' names out. Velus Jones Jr. is there, and and that's the guy. So we want to. It's still some stuff we want to do, but at the end of the day, the Saints can go anywhere on this board, including they can jump over to the defense if Will Johnson falls to him, or any one of the fantastic safeties that's out there. Perhaps Williams, the end slides down to him. Just what's his name, Pierce from Tennessee. That love him. Pierce ready to go. That guy, if he's there, so the Saints can move all kind of ways here, fam. They can move all kind of ways. They're not kind of smitten down on one thing. If Will Campbell falls to him, they can look at him. If what's his name? Kevin Banks Jr., the big offensive lineman from Texas, is there. The other kid, what's his name? Mimbal from Missouri? I forgot where y'all fix it in the chat if if I mess that up. But they got quite a few people that they can slide to at that position. So we'll see how it all goes, man. But yeah, it's very interesting and intriguing. All pre-draft speculation and reporting should be taken with a grain of salt. It's always possible that a prospect's agent is linking information to boost their client stock. Nevertheless, evaluators seem genuinely high on Dart. He could be a good option for the Saints as they prepare for life beyond Derek Carr. So yes, indeed. If you're the Saints, and they look at everybody, but the Saints have talked to all of these quarterbacks. Like, and let me give y'all a list of some of the people that the Saints are talking to, just to brief you guys, because it's a lot of stuff, because they're talking to a lot of players. But this is a good tracker right here. Shout out to Saints Wire. They put this tracker together so we could keep account of who the Saints are talking to. We know about Ashton Genty, the fantastic star running back from Boise State. I think this kid will be gone. You know, I could see him. I think he'll be gone to some. He won't go past the Raiders. I think the Raiders are probably going to snatch him up. Mason Graham, there's word on the street. Mason Graham could be sliding down the draft boards. The big defensive tackle from Michigan. Quinn Ewers from Texas, the quarterback. We know about him. Tyler Warren from Penn State. Shedeur Sanders, we know about his connection. I don't think we get to him. You have to go up and get him. Cam Ward, no doubt about it. You got to go to get him if you want him. Both Shedeur and Cam is not going to be available for the Saints at 9. I don't think they slide down there. They're going to be gone. Trey Harris, the fantastic wide receiver, who was one of Jackson Dart's favorite targets at Ole Miss, is just phenomenal. So he could be at 9. I don't know at 9 for the Saints, maybe, but he's a first-round draft pick, talented wide receiver. I just don't think he will be somebody the Saints will pick up at 9. I think the only guy that gets picked in the top 10 that is a wide receiver is, depending on how you look at it, Tet McMillan. Now, listen, fam, we had some talk on that about Tet McMillan, and I seen the film. I wanted to go over this weekend about Tet McMillan, what he's saying about not being able to, hold on, let me, for some of the family members that might not have heard about Tet McMillan, him reading tape and them saying it. I'm always very, very, what's the term? I'm always skeptical when stuff like this happens. Like, you got a fantastic, absolute fantastic wide receiver like Tet McMillan. Why in the hell would Tet McMillan come out and jeopardize his standing or his I just don't get it. But you have to be, I don't know. People do crazy stuff. But this is for the family members who might not have heard about Tet McMillan. Draft stock is the fantastic wide receiver listed as the best wide receiver in this upcoming NFL draft. He was on tape. They was asking him a question, and he kind of talked about, and I'm going to just play it right here so you guys can hear it. Y'all put 1 in the chat if y'all can hear it. This is Tet McMillan, the fantastic wide receiver from Arizona, saying that he doesn't like football or watching film. Here we
I don't watch football.
You know what? You don't watch football at all.
At all.
Is it hard to watch film then if you don't like watching football?
Yeah.
For real? That's crazy.
I don't like watching film either. I don't ever need to watch it by myself because we go over as a receiver group.
All right, now listen. Well, I'm gonna play it again for those who probably didn't hear, that didn't hear it, and then we'll go over it again.
I don't watch football.
You know what? You don't watch football at all.
At all.
Is it hard to watch film then if you don't like watching football?
Yeah.
For real? That's crazy.
I don't like watching film either. I don't ever need to watch it by myself because
What?
Receiver group.
I don't get it.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I don't get it. I mean, why would you say that so casually? But he did so on the back end of the film. He was talking about that he watches it with the coaches. He watches with other people. He rarely watches it by himself. He doesn't like football or watching film, but he watches it with the coaches. He watches it with the wide receiver room. A lot of people were up in arms about this because if you're gonna draft a guy with a top 10 pick, he got to at least love the sport that he playing. And if it's up to, it has to be some self-motivation. Like because he's phenomenal. If you watch Ted McMillan plays, he's phenomenal at it. You would think that he plays with a passion or a love for game. Now, he could say these words could be misconstrued or whatever, but if he's this damn good by not watching football, could you imagine what he could be if he did like football more? But, like I said, I've watched Ted McMillan. I broke his film down. Phenomenal player. Phenomenal. At the next level, he could be a star wide receiver. He has the speed, the hands, the understanding of the game. He was very productive there. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. Ted McMillan, by far the best wide receiver in this draft. No disrespect to the rest of the guys, but in terms of a top 10 talent, like you got other guys, I just don't see them up there yet. Even when you talk about guys like Savion Williams and all the stuff that they can do, Savion's not a top 10 pick. I mean, he's phenomenal, but it's a difference. But this rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, because if they're going to take a top 10 pick on you, they're going to want you to have some motivation to be able to go and study the film on your own. You don't have to have some guy hand on your back saying, man, let's go study this film and break this stuff down. You're going to have to do a lot of that on your own by yourself. And that's what a lot of people are kind of on. Now, like I said, it's just whether he was saying this for, I don't understand why he would just give that. He was just eating up and eating wherever he eating at in Panda Express or whatever the hell he had. I don't know where he was at. But just to divulge that kind of information, you don't like football, man. This is draft month, so a lot of the people are putting his stock is currently in jeopardy. Why would you do that? I don't get it, man. This definitely says when asked if it's hard to watch film, I don't like watching film either. He says. When asked if it's hard to watch film without liking to watch football, McMillan gives a concerning answer. I don't like watching film either. He said, I don't like football. You don't like watching. How you don't like football, bro? Is he just capping? Is he capping, fam?
Stop the cap.
I think he might be capping a little bit. I don't know. He gave up this information a little too easy, man. He might be capping, but why would he cap? I don't get it. Despite his apparent dislike for both watching football and studying film, McMillan was one of the best receivers in all of college football throughout his career. The former high-end 4-star recruit totaled over 3,400 yards and 26 touchdowns on 213 catches in 3 years in Arizona. His best season was in 2023. He had 90 catches for over 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns. Absolutely phenomenal player. I consider him the best wide receiver in this draft, to be honest with you. One person said no NFL team should draft a guy that doesn't watch film. This is what one commenter said. You will not be a good player in the NFL if you don't. One person said, don't care how long ago this was, he's undraftable. And this is and you just see the comments from the people. So this is circulating, and I don't know. One person said, hashtag Jets, please stay away, as far away from this guy as 7 as possible. Please, a Jets supporter says. Whether NFL teams will see this video and allow it to impact their draft strategy or not is yet to be seen. However, it is undoubtedly not a great look. A few weeks out from the draft, that's almost as damaging, not as harmful as when, remember Laramie Tunsil? The video came out about Laramie Tunsil smoking weed through that bung. Remember that? And didn't he get dropped to was that Laramie Tunsil? Y'all help me out. Remember that? That's probably one of the biggest draft blunders leading up to it when Laramie, I think Laramie, wasn't that Tunsil? The weed bung. This guy's crazy, man. Yeah. That was Larry. See, I'll be just pulling from, yeah. See, that was people crazy, man. Bro, this would put me in the mind. It's not as drastic, but y'all remember Laramie Tunsil, who he had, look at this video right here. He had a bung and a gas mask on. This is how serious this guy was about getting high. This video was released, I think, days before the draft, and it dropped his draft status. I think he got picked up in the second round. I want to say Tunsil got picked up. Look at this fool. But it cost him some money that first year, because with that happening, it dropped his status to the second round. And what ended up happening was he got picked up in the second round. He played out his second round contract, and then he got his money on the second contract, right? He got broke off on a contract. I think it was with the Texans. Y'all remind me, because I think the Dolphins picked him up. But yeah, the pre-draft blunders. This is what it puts me in the mind of stuff. And I remember going back and remembering when Laramie Tunsil had the bung with the gas mask on. These people crazy, man. What's wrong with you guys, man? No. Somebody just say no. But anyway, that's stuff on Tet McMillan, man. I wanted to kind of make y'all aware of. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that, man. About Tet. Would you guys take Tet McMillan with the 9th pick if he fell to you? Because fam, this will cause him to slide. Now, how far, I don't know. But if Tet McMillan he slides to you at 9 after this, do you then take him? Y'all let me know in the chat on this one. Chantel says, Q, the Titans wanted 3 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and Denzel Ward. That's what they wanted for Cleveland to move up. The Browns said no. Yeah, that's insane. Thank you, Shad.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up,
that's insane.
Bringing me back to this
That is completely psychotic.
Absolutely. I'm not giving them nothing for that. That's ridiculous. And that's just for what the team right up under them on it. If the Saints were calling the Titans and asking for picks and they wanted that much, could you imagine what they say? Okay, well, Saints, this is what you need to give us. You better go head on. Chantel says, Q, if you look it up, Cam Ward's dream is to play for the Saints. I heard about that. I remember the accolades he was saying about that. That's where he wants to go. I know I like Cam Ward a lot. I just can't surrender it. I know the Titans are looking at him, and I just can't give that up. That's a lot to give up for one player. That's a lot of draft capital to give up for him, and you still need work to give up like multiple first-round draft picks, second-round picks, possible players. If they wanted 3 for the Saints, I mean, what they want from the Saints at 9, if they wanted that from Cleveland, who right up under them. So, I mean, that's like another 4 first round. Oh, no. Hell no. We can't do that. All right. Thank you, Chantel. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
I can't do it. What's up, Brent? Shout out to you, bro. Says, what's up? After listening to Tet McMillan, brother Brent, Dick Gregory probably would have said this, man. Hold on, let's see. Let's pull up what Dick Gregory would have said about what he says. And this is what Dick Gregory would have told Tet McMillan after he said what y'all heard.
To stop, y'all keep talking, huh? You keep talking, man, and you shut the up.
Brother Gregory should have stepped right in front of Tet when he was saying that, man, and just knocked the phone down, man, and told him just what y'all just heard. Thank you, Brent. Appreciate you.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up.
Oh, these
taking me
people
back to
insane.
this world.
Man, these people insane, fam. What we gonna do about these people? These people are insane, fam. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember that Laramie Tunzel thing? Man, that's crazy. Y'all put in the chat, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about Tet McMillan. All right. Mad Drummer says, Q, he talking about soccer. Oh, yeah. Is he talking about soccer? Is it? Oh, man, come on. Is he? No, I don't know, brother. He talking about soccer. I don't know if he talking about soccer, fam. Y'all gonna hit me to the game on that. But hey, you know what, though, Mad Drummer? Hey, man, thank you for that, bro.
Say thank you very much. Picking me up, taking me back to this world.
Hey, bro, you a genius, bro. Because his agent could say, man, he was talking about soccer. You know, soccer, you know, the ball, you kick the ball, you know, not football, American football, but you know, that's what he could have been saying, right? But you have to pivot and then say, well, why would he need to watch film on that? You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. And we're like, hold on. He said, hold on. He ain't talking about no goddamn soccer. He ain't talking about no soccer, man. He was talking about studying film. He's studying film to watch soccer players. Nah, he talking about see. Yeah, that would have worked. Hey, good try though, bro. Good try. That was a good one. That was a good one, man. That was a good one, bro. All right, Chris. Not sure if you have discussed it, but what's up, Chris? How you doing, brother? He says, how do you feel if the Saints wait next year and try to draft Manning? Wow, Arch Manning. He said, would you trade the form to draft him? Wow. First of all, thank you, Chris.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up, taking me back to this world.
Hey, bro, I've heard this school of thought. But in order to be in position, the Saints have to be, you know, a bad team again. Like we'd have to be worse than 5 wins to line up for Arch Manning. And the reality is, whoever's going to be the worst team next year, right? When Arch comes out, you know, will be, or if he comes out, does he come out next year? Is he coming out next year? Because I know what this year he would be a junior. Next year he would be a senior, right? So yeah, he more than likely would come out. So whoever the worst team in the NFL will be next year, I guess what end up happening is, hold on, let me make sure. Where is he? Let me see. Is he because he would be a junior this upcoming season, right? Because the Mannings, bro, I don't think. Hold on, give me just a second, bro. Let me do a little quick research here because I don't think if you're a Manning, bro, you're not coming out of there early. They're gonna make sure you stay in there 4 years. And he gonna make that. They don't play that. And like I said, he's his own man, but you know. It ain't like he running after the money. The Mannings are rich. They're one of the, you know, they're a wealthy family. They got all kind of stuff. So there's no need for him to run out for the money. So, you know, and like I said, he was stalled out by Quinn Ewers. Ewers kept him on the bench. And that's why I say I got to give Quinn Ewers a lot of respect because they were pushing him, trying to push to get Manning in there. Well, let me see where they got him listed as a freshman. That can't be right. Well, they got him. That can't be right. They got him there. That's wrong. ESPN got that wrong. Y'all let me know in the chat, fam, about Arch. ESPN got him listed as that can't be right. I mean, he got to be either he been there for the last 2 years. That makes him a junior coming up he would be a junior coming up, right? The damn website got him listed as as a sophomore. He got him listed as a sophomore. Y'all help me out on that, man. Y'all let me know. But hey, bro, if he comes out, I don't know if he comes out next year. Because I would say, he's been in college now for 2 years. This will be his third year. I don't know if they redshirted him the first year. You see what I'm saying? I'm not certain on that. So I'm gonna have to do some more research on that. Yeah. Matter of fact, they did. Redshirt freshman year in 2024. Hold on. He came in there in 2023. He appeared in his freshman year was 2023. He redshirted freshman in 2024. They got him listed as a sophomore in 2025. So the chances are that Arch Manning, who is this fellow right here, who from Newman, of course, he's the latest quarterback member of the famous Manning family, Archie Manning from Ole Miss when he was a pro. Then his sons and Eli and Peyton, fantastic Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, and this is the next generation in Arch Manning, the guy is good. He's very good and groomed to be who's going to be a franchise quarterback. I don't know if he comes out next year, Chris, but if he did, using your question, if he came out, whoever the worst team in the NFL is going to be, bro, more than likely, they're not going to want to surrender that first round draft pick, right? So the only way the Saints would line up with Arch Manning is if they're the worst team from a standing standpoint next year. And that's if he comes out. So, hey, bro, like I said, if it's somebody else, I don't see them trading him. But if the Saints line up and they happen to be the worst team there, I don't see why they would pass on him. You can't, right? You know what I'm saying? This is a Manning. He's a quarterback with a high ceiling. He's from here. He's bringing him here and make him. That's something that we haven't seen a Manning quarterback in this team since Arch did it many moons ago. So that will be pretty lively. That would light up the support base big time to have Arch Manning as the franchise quarterback for 10 plus years, man. That would be phenomenal. It's just whether or not they stand up there. And all those scenarios happen as the way we see fit. But thank you, brother. Appreciate you for the super chat, man. Much love. All right, fam. So we'll see how that goes. I'm sorry I took a while on that, fam. but the question is, going back to Tet McMillan, fam, before we move on, if despite what you guys just heard from Tet McMillan, if he's available at 9, do you take him? Do you take him? Now, if I'm the general manager, hold on, Q, and Tet McMillan's there. Well, what should we do? We got to have some more communication here. We got to get some, you know what I'm saying? We got to talk a little bit more, baby. Baby, we got to have a discussion about that YouTube video, baby. We got to talk about that. That's what I would be. I would have to communicate on that. Molly Mall says, Tet does talk too much. Yeah, he was in there, bro. He was just letting it go. Bro, what are you doing? And then the little guy in there just letting him rip it, and he don't care. He's just trying to get him to, get some clicks and views. The little guy just running it. Like, Tet, what are you doing? Yeah. What's wrong with you, bro? Did you know? You had to break out that Laramie Tunzel on his ass, man. You doing this. You doing something stupid like this dude doing. Look at it, bro. Dude, who's that serious, bro? Bro, who's serious like that on that, man? I'm sorry, man. I don't get it. Anyway, let's bounce back to this, man. All right. And then the rest of the tracking list, man, we went from Shador Sanders, Cam Ward. These are some of the guys Saints talked to on the tracker. Trey Harris from Ole Miss, another really good wide receiver. Malachi Moore, the safety, Alabama. Cam Scatterbo, that's the a fantastic running back from Arizona State. Just love this kid. His game, his tape is awesome. It's like, dude, it's like just amazing. We'd love to have him on the team. Is chipping this. Will Campbell had the snipe about his arm length that improved. I guess he was doing the stretches on the monkey bars where he's hanging to stretch his arm out. So he after the pro day, they kind of not getting on him, but it's something they try to attach to you to drive your stock down. So if Tet McMillan, if he clarifies those comments, because fam, it just, to me, this is how I think, right? how if you was a guy, you know, talking like that, like I don't like football like that, you know, I don't even do this, and you going out there putting up them kind of numbers, one ain't clicking with the other. You know what I'm saying, fam? Something not right here. Is this a little, you know, I'm like, this, I would be more inclined to accept the fact that he's capping and just talking a little smack, which why would he do it, Q? I don't know. As opposed to him being a guy that could not do that, because you've seen it. Like he was tearing up college with these numbers. You can see the film, him jumping up, catching the ball with one hand, you know, stiff arming people, breaking tackles. The guy was phenomenal. So you mean to tell me you did all of that and you was only did it because they told you to, and you was still that good? You know, people say they will still draft him, but not in the top 10. I get that. But, you know, I question my family out there. I'm like, could there be a coach that could get him to love it? Could that be Coach Williams? Could that be Coach Williams? Because everybody loved Coach Williams, and Coach Williams knows how to teach the game to the wide receivers. So if you have Coach Williams on your staff, our wide receiver coach, could he be the one that helped step to that next level is what I'm asking. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's just questions. Now, in terms of Will Campbell, that was the little stuff that had him sliding down, because he was penciled in as like a top 5, top 6 pick. Now he's sliding down because of the arm length situation. But what I like what Will Campbell did is he improved the arm length at Pro Day. And then he had the interviews where he was telling people, hey, man, listen, whether I play blindside tackle, that's the money position, right? But at the same time, if you need me to, I'll play any position you want. I'll slide inside, play guard, all that. And see, when he said all that, that just let them know right there. That kind of solidified him there to have that type of mentality. Because in my opinion, watching him at LSU, he got some stuff to improve, but the talent is there, man. The dude will be a good starter for you. So I like what he was saying. Isaiah Bond is another really good wide receiver from Texas. Nick Jaxson, a linebacker from Iowa. This is Saints talk to. BJ Green from Colorado, the defensive end. Carlin Vigors from Louisiana Monroe, some of our local guys. Treshaun Ward from Boston College, the running back. Andreas Borregales, the kicker from Miami. JT from Ohio State. This guy is excellent, man. Him and his comrade that operates on the opposite defensive end position for Ohio State. Those guys are phenomenal. Logan Brown, the big offensive tackle from Kansas as well. So these are some of the guys the Saints are talking to as of right now in terms of some of the stuff that's happening in the draft situations out there right now. So yeah, it's a couple of things going on, man. And then we hoping that the Saints just keep on doing their due diligence and moving this thing. So hold on, let me see if I can show the rest of this stuff for the fam. A couple of tweets right here from Nick Underhill, because he had a few things. Shout out to Nick Underhill. Was talking about Will Campbell and who they talked to and who they seen. Also, they talked about the fact that Savion Jones, the big defensive end from LSU, was talked to the Saints. Mason Taylor, the big tight end, as well as Tulane's Caleb Ranshaw, was visited with the Saints for the Pro Local Day situation. We also just talked about the fact that you heard from Will Campbell, but Emory Jones, another good offensive lineman from the LSU Tigers, also had some contact with the Saints. And they are looking at offensive linemen, and they should be. So, and this is also another one, shout out to Nick. Saints will host Shamar Turner on a 30 visit, and they talked about him, the defensive end out of Texas A&M. So they're doing their due diligence all over the place in terms of our draft picks. So we just have to keep doing that, man. And we know that a lot of this is going to happen. Like I said, the Saints can go in many directions. They got a bunch of draft picks. They got over $28 million this year. So, you know, there's some movement all over the place, to be quite honest with your family, on where the Saints could potentially go. It's anybody's guess where they can end up being. So anyway, let's move on to this next article right here. Saints surprising move could be gaining some steam right here. And Saints have, and the shout out to, this is Kyle T. Moser, my guy Kyle T. on Sports Illustrated. Saints have been one of the most intriguing teams to follow over the last few weeks. When the offseason kicked off, the Saints seemed closer to completing a roster rebuild than anything else, but it isn't what really has happened. The Saints hired Kellen Moore to be the team's head coach, and since then the team has been busy restructuring deals re-signing some of the team's top free agents and bringing in some talent. Saints clearly are only planning a rebuild right now. They aren't. Quarterback position is one that specifically has been in question. There were rumors flowing around Derek Carr for weeks. There was even chatter that Carr could have been open to a trade, but the team has decided to roll with him instead. We talked about that earlier in the show, haven't we? Saints worked on his deal, and it would be a shock if Carr wasn't with the team in 2025. While this is the case, Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer talked about the possibility of the team drafting the quarterback, said Kellen Moore's presence at Jaxson Dart's pro day isn't significant. Now, you'll listen to that and say, yeah, well, and we talked about this a little earlier on with Ross mentioned it on the tweet that I showed. But the reality is, wouldn't people would say that when they don't think you want the player? Didn't we learn from that? Like the whole Patrick Mahomes fiasco. Y'all remember that? When it was a well-known and established fact that the Saints really liked Patrick Mahomes, the current quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. And it was out there that the Saints, if they were going to go after Mahomes, and they traded, I think that year they traded up in anticipation of going to get Mahomes. And guess what? Guess who got him? The Chiefs hopped up there and got him. And Sean Payton talked about that for years, and people knew that. So they didn't keep that close to the vest. So if I'm interested in the player, I'm going to say, well, it's nothing. Not thinking that even if, why would I go and see a player if it's nothing? You see what I'm saying? But that's how the game is played during the draft period, because teams watch other teams. And there's some jostling going on. It's a little, a little smoke screen going on. Even they have teams that will blow up a player, and they'll drop some dirt on the player so that he, to dirt him up a little bit so that he'll slide. This stuff happens all the time. They'll drop a little dirt on him. It's a cold-blooded game, man. But, like I said, isn't significant, but I'm going to spend money to go and see him. Why would I go see somebody that I don't deem as significant? So obviously, commonsensically, it has some degree of significance to it. So especially when you're looking for a quarterback, and it appears that both Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders will be outside of your range, because a lot of people anticipate them guys going within the top 5 picks. I'm not buying the Shedeur Sanders nonsense. I've said this for a long time, that Shedeur has been ahead of Cam Ward this whole time, up until the combine, when he didn't show up to the combine to throw the ball. Cam Ward was out there throwing the ball. Shedeur said, I'm not throwing. I'll come there and I'll talk to you, we'll interview, whatever you got, but I'm not throwing. I'm not running and I'm not jumping. And then next thing you know, he way down inside the 20. I'm like, how'd that work? It's some BS. But in the end, my opinion is, watching both those guys, and they're both phenomenal. Shedeur always been a little ahead of Cam Ward until that happens. Now they have Cam Ward ahead of Shedeur. Now, whether or not the Titans really like him like that, because we don't really know. They could be just playing it to the key and then end up going and get the other guy. The point is that those two guys have been the standard 1 and 2 that people have picked to say that they were going to go within the top 5 to 6 picks in this draft. Jaxson Dart was not. And he was seen as the third guy. Now, of course, there are other guys. I don't think you see them as 3 guys. Jalen Milroe, who's a phenomenal athlete, still needs some help throwing the football. McCord is another fan. I think McCord should be a lot higher, because what he does, he led college in passing from Syracuse. He's accurate. He's intelligent. He's just not athletic. But I think he should be a lot higher. Just me. Quinn from Texas is another good quarterback. He kind of clump in the second tier quarterbacks. But some people see Jaxson Dart as the third quarterback, and then there's another tier where you see Quinn Ewers and all these other guys clumped together in that. Dylan Gabriel falls down there. It's a bunch of other guys. But with that being said, there is talk that Jaxson Dart, even up until about a month and a half ago, that Jaxson Dart could slide back into the first round, at the bottom of the first round. We know every year a quarterback finds his way into the first round. When other guys are going, you'll see one there. And Jaxson Dart's number, he had a good pro day. He had a good showing at the combine. His draft stock has risen. And Saints looking at him. that's not something to kind of look at and poo-poo at and say is insignificant. And of course, like I said, fam, that's the logic. And y'all all know that when somebody tell you that, you know, ain't nobody gonna spend no money to go look at nobody that they see as insignificant. So I mean, that's just draft babble. Yeah, okay. KB says, yeah, man, I want McCord. Yeah, hey, bro, listen, McCord can play. He ain't athletic. He slides too. Listen, he ain't athletic, but he does slide. He'll slide like Tom Brady slides. They're not athletic, but they'll slide this way or that way to throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's an angle there, they're not going to stand fixated to that ground. They're going to slide to get a better view to that side or that side to get that ball out of there. And he can make the throws. His arm ain't as big as you would like it to be, but he got enough pop on the ball to get it upfield. But like I said, the guy could play. You know, he ain't got a big gun like Joe Milton. Very few do. But at the end of the day, I think the guy can play the game. You know, so it's a couple. That's just my take. NFL reportedly changes. Here's some reportedly changes rule to let teams wear alternate throwback uniforms 4 times a season, which I think this is pretty cool. Fox Sports' Jordan Schultz reported Monday that the NFL's altering its uniform policy to allow teams to wear their throwback and alternate jerseys more often in the future. The new policy will permit teams to wear such uniforms up to 4 times throughout a single season, increasing the maximum from 3 times in 2024. So you see some of the old school uniforms like they have here with the Seattle Seahawks in the silver and blue, the classic, the old Denver Broncos orange, the Orange Crush, the Philly light green from the Randall Cunningham era. Y'all remember that? Those are always cool uniforms to see. So that's the policy, that's the rule changes to talk about right there. I thought that was pretty cool to talk about as well. All right, so anyway, as we keep it moving and grooving, baby, let's keep on moving this thing here. That's this one, and then I got a special TSC article I won't go with y'all to close out the stream on. ESPN picks Saints as the perfect fit for the top 25 draft prospect. Shout out to Saints Wire. All signs point to Saints giving Trevor Penning an opportunity to build on his encouraging 2024 season and win a long-term contract extension as the team's starting right tackle. But 2025 NFL draft could throw a wrench in those plans if the Saints have an opportunity to get a starting quality tackle early in this year's draft. They shouldn't let Penning's presence stop them from picking them. Now, the thing is this. With Trevor Penning, like I said, I don't think the Saints handled Trevor Penning well. I think he has his first full season in his, third year. He's going into his 4th year. So he had 2 years where he played a total of 7 games. The first year, the rookie year, 1 game. The second year, when he filled in at the left tackle position, like 5 or 6 games before they yanked him out of there, buried him on the active roster, had backups playing on the top of him. It was bad. Then the third year, bring him back, and it was so tumultuous early on in the year. Remember, it was in the preseason, they had Trevor Penning. Y'all remember this? And Penning, and he was looking bad in preseason, and then that was that last game right before they was seeing if he can make it, because all of the question was, this guy is such and such, such. Y'all remember that? And Penning showed out and had a solid game in the preseason that took the pressure off of him because everybody was watching him, and they were giving him the extra reps, and credit to him, he was able to beat that, be able to show that he could play the position. Well, this past season, he showed some improvement because you couldn't do any worse than what the man did over the last couple of years. But simply, the writer's right about this. If Will Campbell or any of these other guys are there, man, you better pull a trigger on them. And that's just what might happen at number 9. Matt Bowen of ESPN highlighted his favorite team fit for each of this year's top 20 prospects. When it comes to the Saints, he likes Missouri's right tackle, Armand Membo, as a perfect match. Now, a lot of people, including myself, have been not adding Armand Membo in the top offensive tackles, offensive linemen that's there. I talk about Will Campbell. I talk about Kevin Banks Jr. from Texas, but I don't often talk about Membo. And I guess I consider him more like to me, he has first-round talent. I just don't consider him to be a top 10 pick. Some people have him as the best offensive lineman in the draft. Excuse me, fam. I don't see that, but he got good tape. I just don't have him that high. Saints could go multiple directions with this pick, but I like the idea of new coach Kellen Moore adding Membo to pair him with the 2021 first round pick Tali Fuaga that will give the team 2 bookend tackles for the future. I see Mimbo playing at the right tackle spot where he uses lower body balance and foot quickness to handle speed and pass pro while still displacing defenders in the run game. Moore saw the value of winning the edges in Philly last season. He could build up front with New Orleans. Now, listen, I loved it. If you're going to take a talented offensive lineman, y'all know I'm about that business. I'm about that life. I'm about having a building my team from the interior, from the inside out, meaning from the offense and defensive lines out. You know, because without those lines, you're not winning anything. You're not protecting no quarterback. You're not going to run the football. You're not going to throw the football. And on the defensive side of the ball, you're not going to stop the run. And you're not going – it's just a lot of stuff that turns bad. With a strong offensive line, I take possession of the game, baby. I control the clock. I dominate. I can pull. I control and possess the clock. It don't matter if I'm home or away. If my lines are dominant, from an offensive standpoint, I can control and dominate the clock and control the plays that my adversaries are calling, because with my clock possession, I will force them to throw plays away and get desperate and start throwing the ball more, which could lead to interceptions and turnovers. So when you start possessing the clock, it don't matter if you home and away. That controls everything. And that's where it starts with our offensive line. So we could be able to put together a strong offensive line where we can run the ball and tire out the defense and dominate the time of possession. We halfway there. Now they talk about him. He just turned 21. He started at right tackle each of the last 3 years. He didn't allow a sack this season, and he faced the best pass rushers in college from the best conference. He's obviously a high-end athlete. He didn't complete the agility drills, but the work he did just earned a 9.90 relative athletic score. That's pretty good, which ranks 16th out the 1,500 offensive tackles to enter the league since 1987, which shows that he's pretty smart. That's impressive. He would be a day one starter for the Saints and will likely be an upgrade at the right tackle position. I'm not against it. So what would that leave Penning? Looking for a new team. The Saints unlikely to pick up his 5th-year option by the May deadline and guaranteeing him $6.6 million. You can guarantee that won't happen. They have made it clear he won't move again to left guard after beginning to find his way on the right side. If they draft his replacement, the team could keep Penning around for depth and let him walk away in free agency next season, or maybe see him as one of the teams that was high on him before the draft is willing to trade a pick for him. Either way, they would be disappointed into the Saints' tenure. Finding competition, and an alternative option at the right tackle position should be a priority in the draft. But maybe not at the expense of more pressing needs. We just have to see if Penning figures into the plans for Kellen Moore and company. Good point. Matter of fact, let's kind of look at this for a second. Let me kind of pull up Penning's contract, because that's something to kind of talk about, because that's a great point on that. That's a great point, because I'm looking at Trevor Penning, and this is Trevor Penning's contract, the right tackle. Right now, according to Over the Cap, they're showing you right here 2023 base, 24-25 this year with 1.5 million, and then 2026 is his last year. So next year is the final deal on Penning's contract. They're not, and that's the thing when they talk about a 5th-year option, they're not going to pick up a 5th-year option. Ain't no doubt about it. And they're going to give him $16 million. So what do you do here? Now that's if the option on the Saints could opt. They can decline the option and work out a cheaper deal if he's about that business. But you know, you got a 2-year window here. That's why I talk about getting these players in acclimated into your system as fast as you can before things start changing. So another incentive on getting some offensive linemen here, man, to kind of save yourself some money. And getting these guys in there to play right away, man, that's big when you got those top picks. So what do you do with Trevor Penning? A lot of people say kick him into the left guard position. And then you have there, but that won't probably what happen right now, right? If you take a Mimbo or Campbell or any of these other guys, you ain't kicking Penning inside. You got Runnets there. Dylan Runnets there now. That'd be different if you didn't have nobody now. But does that keep the Saints from drafting offensive tackle? That's a good point there. Got to give the writer a shout out. That gives us something here to think about at the Great Saint Think Tank about how we will handle that situation with Trevor Penning, because the answer prior to Runners was kick him inside. I don't know what Runners there. You know, what do you do with Penning? They're not going to. He's right. They're not going to pay his 5th-year option. So I mean, that is a good question on Penning with this year and next year being his final year. So hey, man, I still say get them offensive linemen. I'm not just looking at Penning. I'm looking at Cesar Saleh Ruiz too, man. I really do think he somebody need to kind of push on him too to get him to be better than that, man. I think he should be a lot better than what we see him as, man, for real. And he's a guy that should, and he got a contract here keeping him here to 2027. Yeah, he got his contract is 1.1 this year. 2026 is 9.5, and 27 is 9.5, and 2 voided years in 28 and 29. So he got some job security here for the Saints. So we'll see if Penning shows up and balls out this year. I have no idea, man. We just have to watch and see. All right, fam, and of course, our last article is not so much as it is a football-related article. It's part of our TSC segment, in which I kind to share with the family members, a little information, a little something that came across my feed somebody sent to me, man. And I wanted to kind of get you guys, I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on this particular gentleman and what you thought about this particular item of news that happened. And y'all put y'all caps on and let me know what y'all think about this gentleman right here. So let's listen to Mr. Marvin Sapsucker as he talks about some stuff. Y'all let me know in the chat how you feel.
Understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000, and they understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. It's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm going to have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving.
What?
I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
All right, so I played that, man. Y'all put y'all thoughts in the chat. Let me know, man. What y'all thought about what y'all just heard. Now, some of you guys have heard this before, but if you hadn't, I want you to tell me, put it in the chat, your thoughts on what you just heard. I love to hear you guys' thoughts. So while y'all are doing that, let me go ahead on and hit this this poll up and see what y'all are saying in the poll. All right, which position should the Saints take with the 9th selection? And the family members, 43 or 42%, that's 43% of the family members say the quarterback position. Let's see, 25% says wide receiver, 24% says the offensive lineman, and 8% says cornerback or safety. So a great deal of the family members are saying straight up, man, we need to get that quarterback. And then, of course, the question would be, what quarterback do we go for? All right, so anyway. Desi, you know what time it is, baby girl. All right, Backwood, shout out to you, fam. Yeah, okay, yeah. If I would say you would bring Penning back, okay, all right. Yeah, for cheap. I get it. I get that. All right, what do y'all think about? Okay, Saints for Life said Mimbo is damn good. He could play tackle or guard as long as move well. Thank you, bro. I just didn't have him that high, bro. I had him And you know, the top 5, I just didn't have them like a top 3, man. I guess I'm sleeping on them, or not sleeping. I guess I'm just low rating them, man. I have to look at some more film. OG says that's Mickey Loomis right there. Hold on now. I ain't actually fraud a goddamn dime. That's a lie. All right, Sai says, he's worried about Trump tariffs. Sure enough. All right, shout out to you, my brother. All right, Mad Drummer said, I heard this video was 2 years old. It was actually last year. I think he said it was last year. Matter of fact, hold on, fam. Thank you for reminding me that, because let me play. Hold on, let me play this one. You know I can't help myself. Y'all remember this one?
Now you've seen the Lord in effect. You've witnessed the Lord's Spirit.
You were there.
Now it's time to pay the Lord. Pay that man his money. Now, while I collect the offerings, Brother Pathos here will lead us in a song. Brother Pathos?
Pathos.
I think I saw him on the hill the other day. I think I saw him when I watched the children play. But when I opened up my voice to sing in praise, he ran away, away. My sin made sweet Jesus run away. I did not have to wait for judgment.
Hold on. This ain't working.
Oh,
$1. What's this? $1. No, we tried to do it the Lord's way. Now we're going to do it the good old 125th Street 7th Avenue. Give us the money now.
Give up the money. Give it up. Give it up the money.
The money out. Stay cool. Nobody gets hurt. Take the money out. All of it. Come on. Wasting my time now. Come on.
Oh man. Oh my goodness, man. That's all I can think about, fam, when I see that, man. It's that kind of stuff. That was too funny, fam. But hold on, let me play a little bit of this, because him trying to explain it today.
And, I made them give $40,000, and I wouldn't allow them to leave until they gave it to me. And to be honest with you, that is absent. That's the narrative that has been shared, that I locked folks up in my church, that, I made them give $40,000 and I wouldn't allow them to leave until they gave it to me. And to be honest with you, that is absolutely false.
Yeah.
Number one.
Nobody gets hurt. Take the money out. All of it. Come on. Wasting my time now. Come on.
That offering was taken last year. This was a service that happened last August. Number two, it didn't happen at my local church. It actually happened at a national organization's international meeting.
That's worse.
Churches from all over the country, all over the world came together for the purpose of celebrating the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's what it was.
People took issue with me saying, shut the doors. Understand, I never said lock the doors.
Yeah.
I said, shut the doors. Shutting doors mean that people still have the ability to go in and out. They're taking issue with my tone. And I can honestly say, looking at the video, maybe I was a little more assertive than I should have been. And I can apologize.
What?
And I can apologize.
No, what are you talking about, man?
$40,000, if it was $40,000 that was raised, was never given to me. That money was raised for the purpose of taking care of the budget for their conference, not Marvin Sapp. Number two, it didn't happen at my church.
Oh my goodness. That's a lot of splaining going on there, man. I don't know, man. It's just weird, man. It's just, when you hear this kind of stuff, fam, you know what that puts me in mind of? Hold on, let me pull up something else. Y'all remember they had, hold on, fam. Because it all runs together, doesn't it? What was it? The pastor wanted Jet. Who was that said that? Was that Creflo? No, that was hold up. Hold on, there's a bunch of them. Hold on, fam. Let me do this for y'all, man. Let me show y'all something here. Oh my goodness. It puts me in the mind of, here we go.
Get it back. This is the very first plane that I purchased for the Lord back in December 1994. And I said where I began. And then the second one I purchased was in January 2004, where I used to be. The one I'm flying right now, and it's been with me 12 years. I purchased it in January 2006, where I am. So think about this. This was paid cash. This was paid cash. This was paid cash. And the new one's going to be paid cash also. Now, let me make this announcement so everybody can understand it. I don't own the plane. This belongs to the ministry. If Jesus tarries and I go by the way of the grave, the next person that's going to take this ministry will use that, just like we use all the different things that are happening in our ministry today. I really believe that if Jesus was physically on the earth today, he wouldn't be riding a donkey.
All right. Okay. All right.
I have sinned against you, my Lord.
Okay, TV evangelists can be a little over the top, but Creflo Dollar's appeal for a private jet may take the cake.
We are believing for 200,000 people to give contributions of $300 US or more.
Doing the math, that's $60 million. The head of the World Changers megachurch in Atlanta asked for the donations in this almost 6-minute video, dubbed Project G650, as in Gulfstream 650. Dollar's already a high flyer.
We're about to land in Nairobi, Kenya.
But it seems his current jet, built in 1984, is showing its age. Engine trouble on a flight to Australia, and more recently, when his wife and daughters were taking off from London, it went off the runway.
It's not like a car where you can pull over on the side when something goes wrong. And I knew it was time to begin to believe God for a new airplane.
It didn't take long for the story.
Wow. But that's what kind of come to mind when stuff like this happen, fam. I don't know, man. But that was a little extreme for the brother to be going, to close the doors and lock people in. I don't think that would have went too good with me saying, you know what, let me go ahead on. Let's start making our way up out of here, baby. Baby, I have to tell you, you talking about keeping them doors locked, baby, that would have brought me back to them linebacker days, baby. I'd have to take a couple of mushers there and open that door the old-fashioned way, baby. But hey, this is crazy, man. What y'all think, man? Let me get y'all here. All right, thank you, Si. Shout out to you, bro. KB says shocking, man. Tragic says extortion. Damn. That's like what on some big U type stuff. Like you got to check, you're flying, you got to check in. Y'all heard about that? We're going to cover that at another stuff, the big U stuff. Dana says we still need another corner. Dana said we just need another cornerback. You. Quaveda says QB the Saints should pick at 9. Is Sanders. Dart is not a top 10 pick. Well, yeah, bro, he climbing in the boards. I have to agree. Some don't see him as a top 10. All right. Chantel says Q. What about Tyler Shock or Jalen Milroe as QB? I do like Milroe. I do like not so high on another guy, but Milroe. I think he's a little bit better passer than we give him credit for. He's a phenomenal athlete, but he's willing to do a lot of stuff offensively. Saves for Life said, bro, this dude trying to scam people was out of line, bro. And then see the level of explaining, like the splaining that the guy doing. Bro, that's not how you conduct yourself, man. That's not how we supposed to do. People give out of their heart. You don't bully people into doing this and shut the doors so people can't leave. And then you pressure them into it. Now, see, Jerry, you're right. Damon Wayans, that was funny. That skit was on there because he was trying to preach and it wasn't working. And what did Damon Wayans do? He put the pistol up. They started to give in, didn't they? The people started giving in. Boy, that's exactly what they did. It was preaching, and then right after, this lady jumped. She chilling. Oh my God, what's going on here? Oh, I don't know. What are you guys doing? Oh yeah, that was going on now. Man, highway robbery. He says it's crazy. Lock the door. Yeah, he said he didn't say lock the doors. He said shut the doors. Like that was a big difference. You know, it's crazy, man. But like I said, man, it's crazy. Dr. Gray said Saints have tied themselves to a QB who doesn't want to play for us. Indeed, Dr. Gray. Indeed. Big Sean said that was my show. That I thought that was funny, man. A good mix. Somebody put that online. And following of this character saying that. Dana said they be scamming people. All right. Marlon Mall says Paul Pitt hustling and trapping. It's really getting bad. Student says, wow, you're sure looking okay. He says looking healthy. All right. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Desi says he purchased it for the Lord. LOL. Don't they always say that? I played them other ones because that's what put me in the mind of. Like when I heard him say that, then it flashed back to, hey, man, didn't they have a guy that told the people that he wanted a jet? And that took it back to the OG, Duplantis, who was saying, yeah, if Jesus was walking earth, he wouldn't be on a donkey. So he'll be on the G-Stream jet flying around. That what you're saying? Duplantis, baby. All right. Saint for Life says, bro, you said it. What the hell? Hey, man, Jimmy Swaggart. Yeah. It's a lot of crazy, man. Yeah. Chantel says, Q, what's your thoughts on Jalen Mirror? Okay, I think I answered that. Thank you. Appreciate you, Chantel, on that, baby. Mad Drummer says, Q, he said, you see where Juanita Bynum charging people how to pray. 2 bands, $2,000. Oh my God. Hey, man. No, bro. Yeah. Maul says, Q, you from New Orleans. So you know, oh yeah, I know about Paul Martin, baby. But the thing about it is Paul Martin, man. Yeah, I know all about Paul Martin. My people, my mother and them church people, man. We know about all these guys down here. We got the game on all of them. So I know about Paul Martin, bro. I know Paul Martin doing a lot. He doing better in Atlanta than he ever did down here. I know that for certain. And I don't know. You can take that one how you want it, baby. All right, so when people rent a mortgage, do they just go in and ask the same people for donations? Oh, it ain't gonna work in that way. Rico says, Chantel, big hell no, home meal roll. Now, the thing about yeah. Hold on, baby. Baby, you're wrong, baby. OG Jerry asking Reverend Saint what I think about Marvin Sapsucker. Baby, listen. You're wrong, baby. Baby, you told them people, baby, to shut them doors, baby. Baby, that's wrong, baby. You can't do that, baby. You know, Reverend Saint, baby, let me tell you something, baby. If that would have happened to me, baby, baby, I'd have had to bring out the knife for you, baby. Let me tell you something, baby. You know, but hey, man, listen. Fam, people hey, man, you gotta change it up, man. Like a lot of these people ain't doing what these people out here hustling, man. Saint for Life says double talking isn't going to work, my friend. People know better. Some do, bro. A lot of people still waking up. We just need to wake up a little faster. Mad Drummer said these folks need to stop charging God. It's a toll booth a lot of times. Yes. Jojo said we should take Sanders. How do you think we should get them, Jojo? What do you think? Or Cam Ward, how do you think we should give them? You want to pay that tariff? 504 Cole says, Q, the church has done a lot of damage to our people. In my opinion, keep us stagnant. You don't have to go to church to have a relationship with God. This is true. A lot of people go to church for the community, you know, for the commune aspect of it. Like, and a church could be just, you know, some friends getting together at y'all house and praying and reading the Bible. It don't have to be a big old mega church where people go to. It don't have to be like that. Sometimes it is. Some it could be a private gathering of people reading the Bible. So it's the community aspect of people coming together. And I think that's the thing that people treasure in terms of it. And you just, unfortunately, you got scum and trash that do filter or get in between the interworkings of it, that we got to check these folks, fam. You got to check these folks. We really do. Thank you, 504 Code. That was a good one, bro. JT says, blessings, Q. Who in draft are you going to, let me see if we can get this right. He says, who in the draft are you, let me see, interpret this. He said, or game changers. Okay. Saints should pick that guy. Who's the game changers in the draft? Who should we pick? I mean, it depends, bro. There are a bunch of them. It depends if you want a game changer at the safety or the cornerback level. At 9, you're going to get somebody, bro. even at that second round pick, you're going to get a couple of people if you know what you're looking for. Like that top end is a lot of good talent. So it depends on where you're looking. If you're looking for an offensive lineman, you'll find one at 9. You're looking for a defensive lineman, you'll find one at 9. If you're looking for a linebacker, you'll find one at 9. You're looking for a cornerback, you'll find one at 9. I mean, it depends. Not a quarterback, that's a different thing. Jaxson Dart, to me, does have some first round talent. A lot of people don't see him as a top 10 pick, like Fam said, but it depends, bro. Because quarterbacks are a little different. Sometimes teams will reach on those quarterbacks. And the fact of the matter that you don't have to play. See, and this is another thing about Jaxson Dart. You don't have to play Jaxson Dart right away. Jaxson, if he's your guy, not saying that he is, but if chances are that Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are going to be gone, you would have to move up into the top 3 or 4 picks to land those guys, because it could. I'm telling y'all, Titans at 1 and the Browns, I think the Browns are at 2. Those guys are going to take quarterbacks. You heard what Haslam said about Deshaun Watson. It was not a good decision, just to put it lightly. The Titans looking for a quarterback is going to be the Shedeur or Cam. 1 and 2. Those guys could be gone between 1 and 2. Also, the Giants at pick at 3. The Giants could take them. It wouldn't make much sense because they got 2 bridge quarterbacks there, and they could groom him slower. But the thing about Jaxson Dart is, if you take Jaxson Dart at, the Saints like him, and they take him at 10, just for example, he doesn't have to play right away. Like, you can kind of stash him for a little bit and develop him because you got a bridge quarterback. But at some point, being that Derek Carr's injury history over the last couple of years is like the dude just, for whatever reason, he can't stay healthy, So at some point you would think that they would, depending on how his health goes over the next couple of years, how they move around, but you still have Spencer Rattler there. He would have to battle with Spencer Rattler for the job, and he could be basically, they're developing. He don't have to be thrown in there right away. So at some point, you're going to have to go to the future, fam, with a quarterback, So it depends on the JT. Shout out to you, my brother. Hope everything's well. Rico says, if not those 3, don't take no other QB. I guess you mean the 3 I mentioned, bro. All right, Saints for Life said, I can't stand these people. It's messed up. All right, Sean says, the Lord gonna smite them if they keep on playing. I think he already, but anytime, one of the worst crimes that you can ever do is a spiritual crime, when you mislead people. And just knowingly misleading people, and people are putting a spiritual trust in you, like you supposed to getting them close to God, and all you use is taking their money from them and misusing and abusing them and lying to them, man. That's a whole nother crime, man. That's something the Lord knocked the piss out you for. I'm just keeping honest with you. That's just rotten. That's terrible. But they got a lot of these people that play games like that, and they really delusional, and a lot of them is demonically led. So discernment is needed, family. Discernment. You have to have discernment. Discernment will teach you about charlatans like Creeflow, Want Your Dollars, Reverend High Price, and all these other dudes out here. What's this? Warren Sapsucker and all these clowns. They just garbage, man. Dana said these churches nowadays are like cults. It's scary. People need discernment, fam. They need to get that discernment. Desi said, Lord, that what did Paul Martin do? All kind of stuff. You got an hour? Desi, baby, you got an hour. Now look at people here that you listen to Paul Martin from New Orleans. I'm from New Orleans. I know all about them, man. All about them. All about their people. All about what they do. Bristol was, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, what was the dude from out in Atlanta? He was doing that before he got up out of here. Remember, he lied to his congregation, and then he still, after he was messing around with them boys, then after that, lied and then came out and admitted to him, and they still let him sit up there. See, that's not on them. See, you have to run them up out of there. It's a whole nother game. All right, Dr. Ray said, the question is, did they raise the fund? He did. He did say that, bro. In this video, he admitted it. I played it, that they did raise the money. He probably raised more than it. That's what he negated to tell you. How much did they raise? You mean to tell me that you raised exactly 40,000? No, he raised more than that. I promise you that. I promise you that. But whatever the 40 was for the conference, the surplus, they put it in their pockets. I promise you that. It's terrible. 504 says, so you robbing somebody for somebody else. Joe says, he just in my church. And he says, he talks about what put that again, Joe. I'm kind of not getting that, my brother. KB says, how about David Griffin? Another. I don't like David Griffin, man. I actually despise David Griffin. There's very few people I despise. I just make fun of Mickey Loomis, but I really despise David Griffin. I really do. Desi says, right, I'm on fence with Catholic now. Right now, I grew up a Catholic. Too much going on. Yeah, you got to get them straight, baby. A lot of stuff is going on. Q, I still think we need to go wide receiver, tight end, or edge at 9. What do you think? I think those are good choices, bro. Right now, wide receiver. What wide receiver at 9? There's only one that you would put in the top 10. And with the latest developments, we covered it in the show. Do you go with Tet McMillan at 9 based on what we just played in today's stream? Do you go for that? Or, the tight end position, Tyler Warren could be there, but he's going to sit behind, 3 guys? You might not see him this season, or you're going to stash him for a little bit. And edge could be a possibility too, because you by the looks of what the Saints are doing from a defensive standpoint, all of those guys, Chase, Carl Granderson, and Isaiah Foskey are all penciled in as linebackers according to the unofficial depth chart. So if that's indeed the case, if you're the Saints defense in a 3-4 system, you want to be able to go with a guy like Pierce, maybe Williams, if they're available, that can rush the passer. Now, I'm not mad if they go defensive end there, because it's still addressing the defensive line, and you have to put pressure on their quarterbacks. And you've seen Philly do that, against the Kansas City Chiefs. You've seen them do it against other teams during the playoff push. They would just constantly come up with pressure to force you into mistakes. And they did. Mahomes, the entire first half of the game, Mahomes was unstable. And then while that was going on, the Eagles was scoring, and then it was too much. It was too much. So I can understand if they do take Williams, if he's available, or Pierce from Tennessee, if they're available at 9, that can fill in it. But once again, you got to make sure you get a guy that can play that 34 end role, and which one of those guys fit that 34 end role where you can put them there and they can rush the passer and also set the edge. Because remember, a lot of pressure will be on those guys running that 34 defense, because those 3 down linemen in the front, they got to put pressure on the 5 offensive linemen to allow those 4 linebackers to roam around and blitz or drop into coverage. If it doesn't work like that, it won't work well. So you gotta be about that business. And I know Cam is with his last year, so I don't know about Cam. So at some point they're gonna have to look at that. JT out of Ohio State might be somebody to look at. I don't know. That'll be pretty cool. All right, Mad Drummer says, I play at the small country church. We were sincere. We go for others. Thank you. Hemisphere says the devil himself knew after Christ died on the cross, the only way to combat God is through the church. Why Jesus spoke about 3 churches in Revelations chapter 1. Thank you, Hemisphere. Appreciate that good word, bro. He also says Jesus told his disciples, where there is 2 or 3 of you in my name, I am with thee. Okay, there you go. There you go. Thank you, brother. Backwoods says, for sure, Q, God not mocked. Okay, thank you, bro. Mad Drummer says, yeah, you're right. Marley, giving shots out to Marley. Yeah, this is very interesting. Yeah, that's you. There you go, OG. That's him. That's him. That is, you get demons in there, man. Real demons. I mean, seriously. And the point is, these people can't stop themselves. They don't have a governor. The solution for evil people is good people. Are you expecting the demon to stop himself? Demons don't stop themselves. Good people stop demons, man. Angels stop demons, man. A demon stupid, he'll ride himself into destruction. But that's what you're there for. You're the balance to all that. And artist says, I'm not sold on Tet. Tyler Warren still gives you a big body catcher, and you can still draft a receiver in the later rounds. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Good comment from you. All right. Yeah, do me. Yeah, y'all enjoying it, man. Hit the like button for your boy, man. We talking good game in here, man. Hit the like button. All right, Molly says, Q, what's the difference between Marvin Sapsucker and the Saints raising ticket? Bro, hey man, hold on now. Hey man. Well, the difference is the Saints not telling their ushers or whoever, hey man, y'all close them doors. Don't let them out of here till they get them season ticket prices. That's the only difference I see. You know, and you have a choice. It looked like Warren Sapp. I mean, not Warren Sapp. I said Warren Sapp. Marvin Sapp was in there telling them people it cost. Close them doors. Close them doors. Don't let them out of there. Don't let them. That's the only difference I see right there. And plus, the Saints was doing some other stuff too. But you just mentioned ticket prices. Thank you, bro. Charles says, I want Genty. Pair him with L and Tyson. That will move the chains. Tire the defense and give Carr the time to throw dimes downfield. Thank you, Charles. Appreciate you, bro. I don't know if Genty will be there, bro, at 9. I think he'll be gone prior to that, bro. But he's phenomenal, man. Could you imagine a pairing of him and Alvin Kamara? That'll be downright ridiculous. Joe says, Jesse he said Jesse came to your church and all he talked about was money. Yeah, all they talk about is money. People don't care about nobody's souls, man. Joe said, man, I keep messing up, man. Don't worry about it, Joe. I got big fingers too, bro. I be getting all in the way. I be messing up stuff on my phone too, man. Don't worry about it. That's all good. All right, but anyway, man, appreciate y'all, man, with that. Yeah, Vibin, what's up, Vibin? Said I would have opened palm slapped Marvin Sapp. Yeah, but a worm like that don't deserve a punch. You know what I'm saying? You just, a backhand.
What?
Yes. Yeah. Fault. No, that give him the other. You got to give him the brown, not the light brown side of it. You got to give him the brown side of it, baby. Yeah. That's them old pimp movies. They do that in there. That's what you got to get that sucker a good some of that. Joe said, yeah. He says, yeah. I got you, brother. Don't worry about it, Joe. What's up, OG? Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. All right, fam. But anyway, that's gonna do it for today's show. I hope y'all enjoyed today's show, man. I made sure try to put as much, put a few things in that to kind of switch it up. But listen, y'all do me a service. Hit the like button, hit the sub button, sub up if you're not a sub, and share the show on social media feed as well, man. We represent this thing, the Sports Coma, live and direct, man. Listen, also feel free to support our supporters. Links are in the description section below. For Mint Mobile, for your phone service, if you want to save some money on your cell phone service, check out Mint Mobile. The links are in the description section below. Also, Teach Henley to keep your skin shining and looking good, baby. Check out Teach Henley, baby. We got the link in the description section. And Bet Online. If you're going to bet, try Bet Online, man. It helps out the platform, man. Keeps the Sports Coma and the network shining bright and looking good. Yeah, definitely the backhand. Thank you, 504 Kobe. I appreciate that. So with that being said, man, listen, I'm going to get on out of here. I appreciate y'all for listening at me tonight. Listen, I will be tomorrow on our Patreon stream. We'll be reacting to Kellen Moore has a video. I mean, he'll be doing some talking on the I think that the owner meetings or whatever. That'll be live tomorrow, early tomorrow. There'll be some other Mickey Loomis. I think he'll be having a video too. So you'll hear from Kellen Moore, you'll hear from Mickey Loomis. We'll react to all that stuff on Tuesday's show. We'll also have the latest mock available. We also have the latest of the positional breakdowns for the draft. All that'll be available for our Patreon and YouTube membership family as well. So if you want to be a part of that, you can hit the link. The link is in the chat right now. It's also be in the description section below after the video go final. So shout out to our people. And I'm going to holler at you on Tuesday. Much love. And who that, baby?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, running like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that at. Where we do that at. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that at. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion with the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to NHL and UFC. BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source for every three-pointer to hat trick. BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. So check out the Pro Shop and Who That too.